Okay. So I have my packet tracer here, right? So you guys were facing little bit of difficulty in doing the exercises. How many of you have completed the exercise? முடிச்சிட்டிங்களா ஃபுல்லாகவே? ஏன் என்னாச்சு? So we'll do something here. Okay. So according to the topology, let me share the screen first and then I will show you guys what I'm trying to do it. How about Hari and Gopi? You guys have completed or not? Okay. So first I will show you see, these are all initial hiccups. People who never worked on the product, what it is. So by repeating multiple times of the same exercise, you will be in a position to understand actually what is happening, what is that you're doing. Okay, wow. So I'm just going to open up my portal, which is, this is how you have gone, right? Okay, so this is the first exercise we started doing it. This is the setup we wanted to make it, right? So let's make the setup. I'll show you how I'm doing it. Yesterday also I have shown you the demo, but still I'm doing one more time. I'm choosing the router here. So the router model number what I have chosen is 1941, and then I'm also planning to have a normal switch. Let's say any switch you want, you can keep it, it's not a problem. I'm also planning to have a PC, right? So PC, keeping here. Now what I have to do, according to my design, the Ethernet, whenever you see a straight line, what is the type of a cable we are using? It's an Ethernet cable. The dotted one is the console cable. Okay, so we just wanted to have this kind of a connection. So I'm just taking the straight cable on my PC. What interface I'm using? Can you read that? Fast Ethernet, right? Fast Ethernet 0 is connecting to Fast Ethernet 0/1. Same way, one more time, on my router, I don't have Fast Ethernet, whereas I have Gig Ethernet 0/0 or Gig Ethernet 0/1, right? So whichever the interface you wanted to use, choose that interface and then connect it with one of the interface of your switch. So one part of the connection is over. This part of the connection is over. Instead, now we have to have one more connection from the RS-232 to the 1941's console cable. Till this point is clear? Is this clear or not? Okay. Now we just wanted to connect to the console port. Why do we need a console port? Console port is an out-of-band management system through which all administrative communication could be established when there is no data available, right? When there is no interface has been configured. The only way that you can interact with the router is through the help of console port. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just taking the help of this PC, then going to the desktop, then I'm going to be taking this hyper terminal action. Now say this one, there are some default settings. This is what the setting, you could notice it on my, see what we have, this is the setting. So 9600, right? Data bits 8, parity none, stop bits 1, flow control none. The same thing is what you're seeing it. This would be the default settings for the hyperterminal to establish a serial communication through the help of console cable and console port. Once I say okay, you can see that the text is coming up, right? So I think someone got the same script. Can you see the system configuration dialog? When there is no configuration, right, the system will be asking you a set of questionnaire, a kind of a wizard. Stage by stage, a set of questions will be asked. By answering those questions, you will be able to do a minimal configurations on it. So if you wanted to do with the wizard, you can go with it. If you don't want, type no, and then you will be able to enter into the console port. So by default, you can see the name of the device, the type of the device. The type of the device to which we got connected is a router. You understand? So this is the router we got connected. So that's why the name of the device has been shown as what? A router. So that's what would have been explained here, right? Then by typing enable, I can get into the privilege mode. That is not going to be a complex command for you. Am I right? So I typed enable and then I got into the privilege mode. So the difference between user execution mode and privilege execution mode is what? Under user execution mode, you will be able to do some basic operations. No configuration, no troubleshooting could be possible. When it comes to privilege mode, still not the complete set of configurations could be possible, but you will be in a position to do the troubleshooting like debugging. There is a tool called as ping, traceroute. We can do all the troubleshooting and complete set of viewing. Like if you wanted to get the statistics of an interface, if you wanted to see the configuration of the device, if you wanted to check the interface statuses, all of them could be possible only from privilege mode, not from global, not from specific, right? So I'm in privilege configuration mode. Now what is the next step? The instruction says that get into the global configuration mode by giving the command configure terminal. So I'm just getting into configure terminal, right? Now I'm under the global configuration mode. See the change to which is the mode? Config hash. This is how it looks like. Then the default name I would like to modify from router to something else. How do I do that one? There is a command called as host name as Genesis. The moment I press enter, you can see that immediately the name got changed from router to Genesis. நான் பேசுறது கேக்குதா? தெரியுதா? Visibility இருக்கா? Gopi, உன்னாரா மிரோ? I'm not sure whether Gopi is there or not. Okay. Now, so global configuration mode, then this is where you could have faced the problem. See, the router, the one what I have used for giving the demonstration had fast Ethernet 0/0. You should be smart enough in identifying what kind of interface I have it. See here, if I come here, you can go ahead and check it out. See, there is a red arrow, right? If I go and hover my mouse on top of this, you can see what interface I'm using. Can you see that? Can you identify the interface? Gig Ethernet 0/0. So that is the interface I'm supposed to configure. So what I'm trying to do here is, so for that interface I just wanted to get into this Gig Ethernet 0/0. To do that, I'm just going to I'm just going to this PC, then interface Gig Ethernet 0/0. If you guys could have watched the videos properly, then you no need to type the commands fully, right? So what I'm trying to do here is, see here, I'm just typing int and then pressing tab. The command gets filled automatically. If I know the name of the interface, GIG, and then press tab, you can see that gigabit Ethernet. Which gigabit Ethernet? 0/0. Now I can get into the interface specific configuration mode. Now all I have to do is what the next step, I wanted to configure an IP address for that interface. Now what is the IP address I wanted to configure? According to my lab workbook, it is going to be IP address 10.0.0.1 along with the subnet mask of 255.255.0. Now you understand the meaning of subnet mask very well. So IP address, this is the IP address and this is the subnet mask. I'm configuring for Gig Ethernet 0/0 for the router what I have. And also I need to enable the interface. Why should I enable the interface? Because by default all of the interfaces will be in shutdown mode. I will show you that. See, forget about the command what I'm using. See, okay, these commands wouldn't work here. Anyway, see See the status of this interface, gig ethernet 0/0. The IP address we have configured, but the interface is in shutdown mode. Can you see that? I'm sorry. Can you see them? So by default, the interfaces are in shutdown mode. I have to remove the command from the configuration. To do that, what I'm trying to do is no shutdown from that interface configuration mode. So when I say no shutdown, what basically happens is this interface, the no shutdown keyword has been removed. Do check it out. What is that happening? See, the shutdown command has been removed from this configuration statement. For us, in the gigabit ethernet 0/1, still the shutdown command is there because we haven't configured that interface at all. So for the interface gig ethernet 0/0, we have configured 10.0.0.1 with the subnet mask of 255.0.0.0. So the IP addresses have been configured. This command wouldn't work. This is my mistake because this is a command for ASA, not routers. Okay, on ASA this command will work. Now if I have to check the IP addresses of this interface, first of all, from where I have to give the command, check it out. I am under privilege execution mode, right? I'm not under the global configuration. I'm not under the specific configuration. Instead, check the prompt, which mode I'm in. I'm supposed to be in privilege mode. All I have to do is what? End command will take you to the privilege mode regardless of which mode you are in. Give me a minute. Right? So how do I check the interface's IP address? Show IP interface brief. This is the command that you have to enter. Now you can notice that the IP address assigned for this interface is 10.0.0.1. That is what you need to fill in on your worksheet. That means you can copy it or you can write it down. So this is the command I have given you, right? So this command is not going to be working. This command is going to be considered as an invalid command. Then you can check the routing table. Say for example, show IP route. You can see the routing table entry which has been populated because of the IP address configured on gig ethernet 0/0, and then we have enabled that interface. We can see this entry. Now what is that? The next step is I'm trying to ping. See 10.0 from where I'm pinging C:. Is that the prompt that you can see on the router? Obviously no. You will not be able to see the C:* greater than symbol as a prompt on the router. Then you can realize that there is a PC. That is the PC going to be configured with an IP address. I'm just going there. First thing what I'm trying to do is IP configuration, the static IP address 10.0.0.10, subnet mask of the default mask. Once I'm done with this, I can go to the command prompt of the PC. Don't worry, I'm recording it. So I'm just checking IP config. You can check it out. The IP address associated to this PC is 10.0.0.10. Then I'm pinging 10.0.0.1. You can see the reply is coming back. So the reply is coming back. While it is going on, once again, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to my Genesis device, means the router, and then opening up the terminal. Okay. Right now what I do is debug IP packet. The meaning of this is any IP packet that you see on this router, whether it is being sent or received, doesn't matter. Open that packet and show to me what is that going on. So I have debugged it, right? So I have enabled the debugging. After that, from this Genesis router, I'm going to be pinging 10.0.0.10. Who is 10.0.0.10? It is my PC connected to the network 10.0.0.10. As the traffic is going to be sent and received, they are going to be captured as well. You can see that. See, can you see the output? The traffic is initiated. The source IP address is 10.0.0.1. Destination IP address is 10.0.0.10. It is routed via RIB. RIB is routing information base. The interface on which the packet has been sent is gigabit ethernet 0/0, for which I have received a packet. The source IP address is 10.10, destination IP address is 10.1. I have received the packet. You understand what I'm saying? So we debugged it. We have seen the output. Now as the debugging is on, I'm checking whether the debug is on or not. Show debug. You can see that IP packet is debugged that IP packet debugging is on. Now I'm trying to ping 10.0.0.100. We don't have that machine at all. Because of that, the ARP request when goes out, you will not be able to receive ARP reply. So you can see that only sending. See, encapsulation failed. Why encapsulation failed? Because I'm not. சொல்லுங்க. தெரியலையம்மா. மற்றவங்களுக்குலாம் தெரியுது போல இருக்கே. ஒரு தடவை இல்லை ஒன்று பண்ணுறேன் இருங்க, நான் ஸ்க்ரீனை ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிவிட்டு திரும்ப ரீஷேர் பண்ணுறேன். அது ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்தாலும் அதை ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணி விட்ருவோம். ஆடியோ தெளிவாக இருக்குல்ல? சரி, ஓகே, சரியா? See what basically happens, I'm trying to ping 10.0.0.100 because there is no device which is connected to the network configured with an IP address of 10.0.0.100. While I'm trying to fetch the MAC address of 10.0.0.100, I couldn't because there is no such device who can respond back with the MAC address. That's why I'm getting this message, encapsulation failed. So this is what you have to write it on. One. Now I'm trying to ping 20.0.0.100. Now what happens? According to my routing table, there is no route for 20 network. Because of that, you are getting the message as what? Unroutable. Why I cannot route it? Because I don't have an entry in my routing table. So by seeing the debug messages, you can simply interpret actually what is happening on the device. Now the next thing what I have to do is, since I'm done with all the work, now I'm going to be stopping the debugging, which is more important step, because if the debugging is on, the CPU is going to be overloaded by keep on sending the data to the CPU, because again the CPU has the complete rights on opening up the packet and then it can be shown to you. Once you are done with work, say that undebug all. That means what? Whatever the debugging has been enabled, I'm just disabling all of them simply. Right? So that's what you have to do it. Now unplug the cable from the router, right? Then answer this question. Now what I'm going to be doing is going to the router, cable is going to be unplugged. See? I'm just unplugging the cable. I'm just plugging it to a different router altogether. Let's there. So which is logically what happens, the actual interface that we have configured has been தெரியுதாப்போ? So I just unplugged the cable from Gig Ethernet 0/0 and plugged it to Gig Ethernet 0/1, which means what? The interface which we have configured is not operational. Because of that, if I go to the PC and then try to ping 10.0.0.1, sorry, not terminal, command prompt. Earlier I was able to reach. Now if I try to ping, I'll not be able to ping, but the traffic can go out. I will not be able to receive the reply. That's why you could see the message as what? Request timed out. I'm sending the request, but I'm not receiving it. See? This is what you're supposed to be doing it. Then this is going to be the same step. You know already, right? You know already this one. Now finally I'm just getting into the connect back to the cable. So what I'm trying to do, going to the packet tracer, then unplug this cable and then connect it to Gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Wait for a while so that this side also you can see the green icon. That means the interface is ready for sending and receiving the traffic. Wait for a while, just a couple of seconds. Right, now the system is ready. Now I'm going to the PC and then trying to telnet 10.0.0.1. You can see that connection is open. Can you see that? Trying to 10.0.0.1, the connection is open, but it has been closed by foreign host. That is because of the restriction. I'll tell you what is that. So what happened? Are you able to log into the router? No. Why? Because the login has been disabled. So I just need to configure the password with which the login can be enabled. So now I'm just getting into the router. Go to the router terminal, then say OK. Now configure terminal line VTY 0 to 4, password is Cisco. That's what I have asked you to configure. Can you see that? Line VTY 0 to 4, password is Cisco. Once you are done with this, right, what is the effect of this command? Because we are setting up a password for the telnet. நான் என்னமா பண்ணுறது தெரியல எனக்கு. நான் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணி தான் போட்டுக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன். வந்துருச்சா? Is that visible again or not? See? Complete the following to enable authentication for console access. How we have done this, the same way we have to enable the login process for the console access as well. How you do that one? I will show you that. Go to the packet tracer, exit line console 0, then password is Cisco, then login. By giving this keyword, you will be able to set up the password for console proper as well. So even you can also give login local. If you do this one, what is the effect of following command? If you give this command, then it will be asking for a username and password, which we are not going to be enabling it. It is just a question for you. What is the effect of following command? Which is basically nothing but it will be prompting for username and password. Now let's check it out. See here, I'm just going back to the command prompt. And then earlier I was trying to do the telnet. It was not allowing me to do it. Now I'm telnetting it. Can you see it is asking for a password? Cisco. It's done. I logged into the router. Now any command I execute here, now logically I'm executing on the router itself. This is one. The next one is what? I'm just trying to log into the console once again. Say OK. Then end. Then exit. Now I'm on console. If I press enter, again it is asking for the password. When I logged in first, it was not asking for the password to get into the router area, means the user execution area. Now it is prompting for the password. I'm just stopping it.